Hey, I'm Brent. Welcome to the Daily Devo, and today we're going to be asking and answering the question, where do I belong? As we're in this new series focused on our identity in Christ, one of the most difficult things that I struggled with growing up was where I fit or belonged in my family. You see, like many people, I was raised in a blended family. The problem is with my blended family, I was actually the only thing that was blended about it. You see, my mom, my dad, who by law is actually my stepdad, and brother all had different last names. I was born into the world as Brent Anthony Davis Jr., but everyone else in my immediate family's last name was Hatchett. I can remember growing up, one of the worst experiences for me as a kid is when we traveled as a family and we had to show identification. My parents always had to clarify that I belonged with the family because I had a different last name. And this is just one of many examples that caused me to struggle both mentally and emotionally growing up. Seeing the effects it's had on me, my parents agreed to legally change my last name to Hatchett when I was in middle school. And finally, I had this sense of belonging. But then another traumatic experience took place in my life. It was just a few years later. At 16, I got saved. And while without question, this was the best thing that could have ever happened to me, there was a small tension. The tension was found in the fact that the family I belong to, the family I love with all my heart, the family that is ride or die for me and I am ride or die for them, please don't get it twisted. But this family, my family, wasn't exactly an every Sunday kind of family, if you get my drift. The good news, they fully supported my involvement in the local church. But being a young 16-year-old kid who not only didn't fully understand Christianity, also didn't fully understand who I was as an individual, struggled again with this sense of belonging. Y'all, it literally wasn't until I was almost 30 that I figured out that I was asking myself the wrong question about belonging. You see, I was asking God, where do I belong? Do I belong to the Hatchetts? Do I belong to the Davises? Do I belong to the church? When in actuality, I should have been asking, who do I belong to? You see, Jeremiah 1:5 offers us one of the most powerful verses regarding identity. Here's what it says. It says, I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. This is God speaking to Jeremiah. Before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Here's the Brent Hatchett translation of this text. Jeremiah, I know you. I know you because I created you. And the creation always belongs to the Creator. So don't worry about feeling like you don't belong because I've set you apart. I've set you apart for me, for a specific purpose. You see, your identity is not solidified in your last name. Your identity is not solidified in the church you go to. Your identity is not even solidified in the title that you have. Your identity is only solidified when you realize that you belong to Him. If you and I really want to find our true identity, I suggest we spend more time with the one who created us. So instead of ending this by asking you, where do you belong? I simply want to ask you, who do you belong to?